Hello.
What's happening, everybody?
How's it going, guys?
Great. Welcome to the Castro Files. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
So we've been recording off and on for a while.
Right.
And I think we're at like 43-ish, 44-ish.
I don't know, but it's more than I realized.
We're back to Peter's out of town.
Right.
The producer's out of town. So we're back to me.
Old school
producing the show.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. Probably not the same level of quality.
Yeah, probably
that
not
we
the
get.
same level of coolness that Peter brings
It's
into
all
it.
good, though.
But
Peter's out hanging out with all the Black Rifle guys.
Yeah,
and doing
having a
some
good
cool
time.
Stuff.
Working,
Absolutely.
working.
So, it's us.
It's just us.
And Angela, his wife, is actually
Behind the scenes with us.
behind the scenes.
Yes.
Taking some video, doing some stuff.
Yes.
So we're lucky to have her. Thank you
enjoying
so
her
much for
company
coming.
today.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
we're going to jump in. First things, go out, like, subscribe, do all the things. And that was a reminder from
Yes, and you
Angela
almost
5
still
seconds
forgot.
ago. Right? Is go out, like, subscribe to the show. I post all the pictures out to the Instagram page, the Castro Files Instagram page for the episodes that we do. And then, of course, go out, check us out on iTunes, Spotify, all the good places. You can find those. Like, subscribe, do the 5-star
Thumbs
reviews,
up, 5
all that
stars,
sort of
give it to us all.
stuff.
And share it. Because why?
Sharing is caring.
There you go.
Oh, my God.
Very well done, sir.
All right.
I've got a story today.
You've got a good story.
I do. It's a creepypasta story, so it's nonfiction, but it's still
they're
really,
worth it.
really good story.
Creepypasta, if you haven't heard of it, go out to the website.
Check it out. There's books, there's websites.
All sorts of good
They've got great
stuff,
stories.
so.
It gives an avenue for people with creative writing an opportunity to put their stuff somewhere.
Yep. So we'll post all the links below
Yes.
to the show.
So this
I'm
one
super anxious.
is Creepypasta Presents They Only Take One, and it's written by Blake Blizzard. Okay.
Let's go, Blake Blizzard.
Blake Blizzard. Taking that fresh air, girl. Damn, it feels great to be back. Everything looks smaller, though. Yeah, because you were like 3 feet tall last time you were here, you walnut. Bud, Jake looked at Gwen with a smile. The classic platonic boy-girl relationship where no sexual tension existed. Mostly. Well, sorry, I didn't come out of the room at a lengthy 5'9". Gwen playfully throws her Circle K cup coffee at him. She knew it was empty, but I didn't. What the? Oh, nice. You're lucky that was empty. And don't worry, I'll throw it away, litterbug. Bud made an exaggerated motion of throwing the coffee cup out, all while maintaining eye contact with Gwen. Okay, awkward. And yes, I have been an Amazon since birth, thank you. Good thing you finally grew into your shrimpy grade school body so you didn't have to look up at me anymore, Gwen smiled. Bud and Gwen had been best friends for their entire conscious life. They grew up together, their family lived on the same street, they even had played the same sports. Gwen made the Little League baseball team, and Bud became the first male cheerleader of their high school. You could see the absolute fireworks between the two of them when they cheered together. I'll always look up to you, Gwenny, Bud said with a corny wink. Glad I did get taller, though, than you are. That was close. That was a close one. Gwen cracked a closed mouth, somewhat embarrassed smile as she looked at the ground. She missed Bud amazingly, but she would never admit that to him. No reason that she could think of. Maybe a girl thing. Maybe she just wanted to keep her emotions to herself. Maybe she never wanted to ruin anything by even remotely letting Bud know how much she cared about him. We're wasting precious drinking time, Gwen said. My kind of girl.
Friend zoned. It's the first name that comes to mind.
Right? Gwen said, straightening up and pushing her feelings down. Come on then, Mr. Man. Let's blow this shit out like we were kids again. Gwen looked over her shoulder at the lake park, cupped her hands over her mouth, and yelled, Shaky Lakes! A little woo-hoo followed as she turned back to Bud with an ear-to-ear grin. Bud was delighted. Let's get this party started, Bud said with another wink. The one wasn't corny, more ominous if you had to categorize it. Shaky Lake, Michigan. Some towns had amusement parks. Some towns have a civic center with a community pool. Some towns have the world's largest thermometer. Lake Hill, Michigan had Shaky Lakes.
This is Shaky Lakes up on the screen right now.
It's a real place.
Yeah, it's actually a real location. So.
Saying you were going to Shaky Lake meant you were going to the smallest campground in America. The series of lakes are many, but pretty small. The campground only had about 50 lots, and a just handful more of those that wanted to camp for real, like with a tent. But even the early and mid-90s, most people in the country wanted to feel like they were camping, but wanted the modern convenience of home. Anyway, Bud and Gwen had not been here in many years and decided to get together after they graduated from college. You are right about how small this place looks, Gwen said. It looked so massive when we were kids. The beach is like a sandbox. Bud laughed a bit. I don't remember it this dirty, though. Feels like it was cleaner when we were younger. Bud nodded. We didn't notice if it was clean or not. We just wanted to race to the beach, put our towels down, and start whipping water toys around. I see what you mean, though. It does look kind of rough here. The volleyball nets are down. The parking lot looked like a bomb exploded. And the arcade used to be right here, but I don't see it anymore. Hopefully they just moved it. I'll plug this bad boy in, and you start putting out these fancy dancy lights around the awning. So everybody, if you go RV, you put up lights around your RV. So at nighttime, you have ambiance.
I think this is the right one. Yep, there we go. So we've got a little RV up there.
They do.
Because this is what I imagine when you go RVing.
Yes.
Right?
Because that's what we did when we went RVing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You throw up the lights, put them around your area to illuminate all the dark spots.
It's dreamy.
And light is safety.
And it attracts bugs.
And it makes, bugs come as well. So, but, absolutely.
Okay. Please tell me you didn't forget to grab the AstroTurf my parents left for us to use, Gwen
We
said.
even have a carpet.
With that pleading, don't let me down look in her eyes. Bud jumped into the RV, making obvious noises like he was looking around. This one? He said, muffled, then threw the roll out the door. Gwen let the breath go, relieved that he hadn't forgotten it. Yes, that one, she said. Bud came barreling out of the door, down the tiny steps, and onto the ground in front of Gwen and the AstroTurf. You know, never doubt me, he said, smiling. I told you I would be the first guy on the cheerleading squad, didn't I? You did, team captain, you did, Gwen said. And thank God you did. No one else could have handled me like that. There followed a long silence. They both spoke at the same time. Well, Bud said, cut off by, you know what? Gwen interrupted. This happened once or twice more before they just laughed and shrugged everything off. Let me plug this thing in, Bud said. Bud and Gwen were the same age, the exact same age, save for a 10-minute advantage enjoyed by Gwen. She never let Buddy forget either. She knew it bothered him that his best friend was older. In a way, both families actually met at the hospital. They never knew each other before. Both sets of parents lived just a few houses down, but no reason to interact until baby boy and girl were crying in the hospital nursery.
That's cute.
Every family in the small town of Lake Hill visited Shaky Lake parks every summer at some point, even the winters too if they enjoyed ice fishing. Bud and Gwen looked forward to those camping trips all school year long. They planned out what they would do first when they got there. They passed notes in school about how they were going to make the best sandcastle. They couldn't wait to get one of those Bahama Mama slushies from the Shack. The Shack was the little shop where you could get candy, fried food, and the famous slushies. The arcade was there too. So many hours playing pinball and Teenage Mutant Turtles, stand-up arcade, and then they just didn't go anymore. When did we stop coming here every summer? Bud asked. I feel like we were pretty young when we stopped going. Isn't it weird our parents took us like 30 minutes into the city to roller coaster or see a movie instead? Our rents never, that's
Parents.
cute, parents.
Yeah,
Our rents
rents.
never explain that either, Gwen said. The only thing I remember is something about the woods. Maybe the state closed the park due to an environmental concern. I don't know. I feel like they didn't have a good enough answer. As kids, you rolled with whatever your parents are doing. It's like one day you're packing up, getting ready to go for the big weekend at the park. The next, you never missed it and moved on to the next family adventure. I recently thought about that, Bud said. I looked it up for the first time online and saw it had been open and never closed like our parents said. Gwen shook her head with an approving nod. Me too. Guess we are still linked after all, young buddy Bud, she jokingly blurted out. Very funny. That'll never get old, Bud smiled, looking at Gwen with a slight sarcastic smile. You might be getting old, but you might be older, but you'll never be cooler. With that, Bud pulled out a roll of quarters from his pocket. Let's find the arcade. And this time, we can pour some vodka into those Bahama Mamas. Gwen giggled. What? Bud asked. She disappeared in the truck that towered the modestly sized RV his parents had let them borrow. Coming out with her hands slightly behind her back, she slowly revealed an unmarked mason jar. I've got something stronger than vodka.
Oh, she's got the hooch.
Yes. Bud was delighted. Wow, the Petersons' famous moonshine. You ready for this trip, huh? But didn't know Gwen's family that well. They were together a lot while they were kids, but usually it was Gwen coming over or playing outside in the street until the lights came on. He didn't know that the Peterson wasn't ever her real last name. Gwen and Buddy took a pull from the moonshine, no chaser. Holy hell, that's way stronger than I thought, Bud said.
I can feel that like going down,
right?
like just imagining it, yeah.
It'll be better in those slushies, big guy, Gwen teased. Let's find the shack. I think I can see it from here. They locked the RV and turned on the garden lanterns. Looks amazing, Bud said. Not as amazing as Gwen, he thought. Quarters ready, moonshine secured in Gwen's purse. They were headed to the shack. Just like when we were kids, Gwen said. Remember when you fell down this trail as we were running to be the first ones to get to the arcade? Ugh, Bud moaned. Another thing you won't let me live down. I was just excited to beat your ass in NBA Jam for the 100th time. Charles Barkley and then Dan, I can't remember, Majory? He was a basketball player. Big Majori or?
Marley.
Dan Marley. Thank you. Dan
Phoenix.
Marley always
Phoenix
blew
Suns.
you away. Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever. I didn't care about winning. I just wanted to see those little guys fly down the court, Gwen said. Sure, Bud said. You were so tired of hearing he's on fire as CMU alumni Marley drained his third three-pointer in a row. Central represent, Bud joked as he pointed towards the sky like David Ortiz after smashing a home run. I love
this writer, by the way.
Right? He's really good. I know he went to Central, dummy, Gwen laughed. We saw him speak at the field house, remember? The two friends indeed attended the same college. Their freshman year, they were inseparable. Going to college is stressful and psychologically rough for many young people. Having someone there you know is a blessing, and they took advantage of it. As the next few years developed, it saw the two young adults friendly, but drifting apart. They still texted and met up here and there, but the closeness they had felt had eroded. Truth was, Guy remembered every moment with her. He didn't think she remembered that. It made him warm. Of course, it was a blast. Seeing a real NBA player in the flesh was exciting, especially one that started out right where we were. Bud changed the subject. College was great, but it reminded him of when their friendship had changed. Let's get those slushies. One more sip of that firewater before we do, he said, looking at Gwen. She did a little shake, anticipating the hot Everclear that would fill her insides. The shack was empty. Not closed, but it looked like it. All they saw were a handful of chip bags hung on the rack, a couple of fryer baskets that looked like they were last used 20 years ago, and some kid toys that molded a long time ago. Hello? Bloody said. Any chance we could get a couple slushies? A weary old woman appeared out of nowhere behind the window that Bud and Gwen stood. Both took a stuttering step backwards. How can I help you two? She said. Bud looked at his friend. Can we get... What happened here? Are you open? Sorry. Yes, of course. Just wasn't expecting anyone this early is all. You want some slushies, kids? The lady looked odd but nice. We can get Can we get Bahama Mamas, miss? As Bud looked at Gwen, he wanted to leave, but before he could say anything, he turned back and saw two pristine-looking dark slushies waiting in front of him. Excuse me. Oh, yes, thank you. What do I owe you? No charge, she said. Just happy to have people around here. Not weird at all, they thought sarcastically.
Yeah.
They both grabbed their drinks and cautiously walked to the beach. Well, cheers, right? Gwen said, holding back nervous laughter. They both bursted out laughing and poured a generous amount of alcohol into their drinks.
That should kill any bugs.
Right?
Anything in that slushy machine mixture.
Exactly. That was freaking strange, Bud said. Like she said, she's just not used to serving this early and probably not young people. This place looks like no one really uses it to camp anymore. I only saw maybe 5 campers coming in, but he didn't remember seeing anyone else camping there. The weather was great, mid-June, and this would be the first real nice weekend of the year. The woods are alive, Buddy remembers his mom saying to him. He was too young to understand. It's too dangerous to go there anymore. Don't you like going to the nice arcade in the city? Look, I have an entire roll of quarters for you and your friends to play with. Hello, Eartha Bud, you ready to play? Buddy snapped back to reality. Yeah, let's find those games, he said, trying to feign excitement. They walked next door to the old arcade. They found a door that was boarded up. Gwen went back to the shack window to ask where the games had moved. The window was shut and no one was answering. Where did she go? She said. She couldn't have gone anywhere. We would have seen her. Bud was starting to become paranoid. Oh, the stupid ad's in the way. Come on.
No, I don't. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So Gwen is 14 years old with him and his mom stepdad sitting on either side eating chicken cordon bleu. Gwen drops her fork. Why don't we go to the park anymore? Both parents stopped, looking at each other. What park? Gwen's mom says. Gwen explodes, which she never did. Shaky Lake Park, that fucking what? Her stepdad calmly sent her to her room, and Gwen storms off, slamming the door. I guess she wasn't allowed to curse. But it's a small town. I don't think there are too many kids here anymore. It wouldn't be exactly what we remember almost 15 years ago. Where did Flash and Billy go? Bud asked with dead eyes. Gwen froze. Who?
Yeah.
Buddy took a long drink, not looking at her. But Billy and Flash, the twins we grew up with. I barely remember them, but they disappeared when we were kids. Then we somehow never went back to this place. Gwen was confused, and the hooch drained slushy wasn't helping. She grabbed Bud's arm without thinking about it. Bud looked at her, then up at her. Bud looked at her hand and then up at her. She reflexively removed her hand, flustered and brushing her hair back out of habit. Bud was confused too. Why did he have such an affinity for her right now? 9-year-old Buddy. Where did my friends go? They were cool. They were born together, right? Buddy's dad sadly looked at him. He'd had enough of these last few years. Single father, raising 2 kids, rare for any time. I won't tell you again, Bud. They moved. Bud seemed to be okay with the explanation, which he had already heard.
They didn't move.
Our parents briefly mentioned that something was here, like maybe in the woods or something. Should we go out there, or... Bud was cut off immediately. Heck no, sir. Gwen was now back in full reality. Hey, let's go back to the RV, enjoy those lights. We can put some music on and talk about old times. Can we please enjoy this weekend? Bud thought for a second, then happily complied. Yeah, you're right, G. Time to relax. Both were getting eaten up from the inside, but decided to shrug it off and enjoy their time together. They were on vacation after all. That night, Buddy had a terrible visions of humans, or at least things that looked like humans, walking around Shaky Lake Campground. They traveled in packs of 2. They were dressed in regular clothes, but had the smell of wild animals. Bud tried to wake up Gwen. Yes.
Aliens.
Bud tried to wake
freaking aliens.
Bud tried to wake Gwen up, but saw nothing but an empty bed where he thought she was sleeping. He searched an endless cavern of darkness. The things were surrounding his camper now, and he panicked, screaming for Gwen. He ran full speed down the hallway looking for... Buddy, what the F? Gwen dropped the breakfast supplies she was holding over the campground. Broken eggs, raw bacon, and pancake mix were now feeding the earth. Buddy sat up, drenched in sweat. What the... Where am I? Are you okay? What happened to you? Where were you? Gwen got Bud to calm down and convinced him to go to the shower not too far from the camp. Buddy returned clean and ready to be caffeinated. I saw something last night. These...
aliens.
Landwalkers were coming towards our RV. I don't know why I called them that. It just sounded appropriate. They look like humans, but
aliens.
Not. They walked like humans, but I knew there was nothing inside. There were dozens, but they were all paired like Psycho Gemini team. They saw me, but wanted you. I tried to find you. You weren't here. Where did you go?
Aliens.
Yes. Bud, Gwen said, you passed out. We must have gone to sleep about the same time. It was a dream, dude. Nothing more. Bud took this in. No, Bud said, but stopped. Guess that Bahama mama kicked the crap out of me. Yeah, you always were a Nancy when it came to drinking. Gwen said as she started cleaning up the dead breakfast of 2021. She looked up at Bud, locking eyes. She never noticed how similar his honey brown eyes were to hers. Gwen was playing outside her home as a little girl, maybe 5. She saw her mom speaking to someone out of view. Gwen knew her dad wasn't home, so it was strange that her mom would be talking to anyone while she was playing. I have to go. You have to go now, is all Gwen remembered. I won't let this happen again, not to our kids. Gwen cleaned up the vagrant eggs and bacon remnants and made sure her best friend campsite was pristine. I'll make sure we still have a good breakfast, Bud. Sorry, I just got freaked. Stupid ads.
Keep going.
Bud was happy. Well, it's hard when it's in the middle of your sentence.
Just keep going.
How do I make this up then? Bud and Gwen enjoyed the day without incident. The lights looked great. They took a dip in the lake. You have a picture.
Let's see.
They made burgers and popcorn. It was a camper's dream.
It's one of these. I told you, we don't have a producer today.
There it is.
I'm doing my best. It's all good. There it is. There's the lake.
They made burgers and popcorn. It was a camper's dream. Gwen jumped from the vibration in her back pocket. Oh, my mom's calling. That's so crazy. I didn't even remember I had this thing. Bud agreed. Me too. Glad to leave the thing alone for a while. I'll call her back. If it's anything important, she can text me. The phone vibrated again. The contact name just said Ma. Sorry, Bud. I'll just text her real quick. Call her. It's okay, Bud said. Excuse me. No, I don't want to talk to anyone but you right now. If I talk to her, I'll be taken out of my vacation vibe. She made a kissy face at Bud and walked a few feet away to text her mom that she was okay and please not to bother her this weekend. She discovered a text was already waiting for her. She put her password in to unlock the phone. Get out of there, is what her mom had sent her.
Oh, shit.
Followed by multiple messages explaining the same. What the hell? Gwen called her mom. One full ring didn't even finish before she picked up. Gwen, you have to leave. You can't be around Buddy. I'm sorry. I thought it would be okay. I thought they wouldn't find you after we left that campground forever. Gwen tried to slow her mom down. I just got goosebumps. Mom.
So I did
Mom.
too. Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about? It was no use. She wouldn't stop until the phone got cut off. Gwen, you have to leave the RV. Leave the RV. Leave your things. Just get into the car and leave as fast as you can. Gwen, they only take one. They only take, and the phone dies. Gwen tried to get her mom back.
I just got chills.
Mom, what the? Hello? Where are you? Bud was enjoying himself by the fire, but his mood changed immediately when he saw the expression on Gwen's face coming back to him. Whoa, what happened? Is everything okay? My mom was hysterical. Said we had to leave. Something about taking someone? I don't know. I'm all turned around. Then the phone cut out. What do you mean taking someone? Did she say anything else? I just told you exactly what happened. No, she didn't say anything else. She just hung up or got cut off. Sorry, Bud. I don't mean to yell, but this is freaking me out. Bud and Gwen got quiet. Bud's head was spinning. The air was getting cold. The winds were rustling. Bud couldn't stop thinking about his nightmare. The landwalkers walking 2 by 2. They only take one. How did Bud know that? He didn't hear Gwen's mom say that. Gwen, we have to go now. Gwen hesitated, but Bud grabbed her arm so quickly she barely had time to think. Ow, Bud, what the hell's gotten into you?
Fuck in the car.
Bud shushed her. Gwen, quiet. Something bad is happening. I don't think we have time. What are you talking about, Bud? It was just a weird call from my mom. She must have been having a long night and just missed me or something. Bud successfully got Gwen into the truck. He unhooked the RV and didn't bother packing a thing up. He was ready to speed through a wildfire to get out of there. Gwen, why did we stop coming here? Bud asked. You know why. Our parents said it was something about the woods, the grounds not being safe. We never questioned it. For all we know, there was a murder here or something that they just didn't trust this place. Bud paused. They lied. They all lied. I love you more than anything, Gwen. Gwen blushed slightly. I love you too, Bud. I always have, you know that. But I love you like a sister. I never had a sister. There are things out here, Gwen. I've seen them in my dreams. They take people, special types of people. Gwen looked at him like he'd lost the last of his mind. Bud, just get us out of here. Bud looked at the ignition. We were born on the same day. You don't have a dad and I don't have a mom. They were late. They were too late. Even all these years ago, this place had been waiting for us. They only take one. They only take one of a pair to cause lifelong suffering. Bud's driver's seat window shattered. Gwen screamed. She buried her head in her hands, trying hard as she could to muffle out the sound. She could still hear the gnawing and gnashing of bones and muscle and sinew being shredded by hungry things. After the air was still, she looked. No trace of Bud. No trace of her long-lost, never-known twin brother.
Oh, I just got the chills again.
So good, right? I read it and I was like, oh, this is my story.
Dude, that was good.
That was good.
That was a good one.
In my head, they're aliens. Because, like, they made the woods move.
Why would they only take one? Why are they eating them?
Why are they evil?
No, I don't think they're evil.
This is why I don't want to be
Why are they
abducted.
eating them?
Because they're hungry aliens. Who knows? But why twins?
I swore during this one. I try not to swear during these shows. And you made me swear.
When it kicked in that they were, because it said early on.
It was too happy-go-lucky.
It was early on. They were 10 minutes apart, which is pretty common, you know.
For twins, yeah.
But then when he said, wait a minute.
Oh, the twin brothers. I wrote that down.
The twin brothers.
They all of a sudden,
so they lost one of them and they probably moved. But when he said, you didn't have a dad and I didn't have a mother, it's like when they realized what happened with those two young kids, they separated and each of them took a twin.
And now they're
so
best
maybe
friends.
they wouldn't seem
They
like
couldn't
they were
be
twins.
together.
Yeah, but they grew up together. They
The
played
aliens
together.
know.
Yes. Yeah. So it was. I thoroughly enjoyed
That
that.
was a
story.
great, great show. So
Mr. Blizzard did a great job.
Okay, so my question is this.
Yes.
And this is with all sincerity.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to get some shit for this one.
Well,
why do women try and rationalize everything? If a dude goes, get in the car if something's happening.
Why is
like,
she?
Why? But why do we have to do that? Like,
Why is she
do we
being
need?
a Linda?
I mean, like, why? Right?
Because
and you're like,
girls are
no, because
girls are very rational.
Stop
rational
it.
being. No, but
Stop.
I'm not like that. If you told me to get the hell in the
I'm
car,
ultra rational.
I know
guy.
you well enough that I'm like, psing, I'm getting in the damn
I'm like,
car.
get in the car. There's something in here. Go. You're like,
I'm not gonna. I'll ask questions later.
Come on. Right? That was a great story. Thank you so much for
Yeah, of
sharing that
course.
one. That was awesome.
Thank you for allowing me to. That was fun.
For allowing you to. Yeah. It's like, you don't need my permission.
You know
Beth
what I
can
mean.
talk about whatever she wants.
Thank you for allowing me to share my story. Is that better?
There you go. You guys go out, like, subscribe to the Castro Files. I'll throw all the photos we have out on the Castro Files Instagram page. Check that out.
Yep.
Honey, that was an awesome story. Thank you so much.
It was fun. Thank you.
Next time, more aliens.
Bye, guys. Love you. Have
It's an alien session.
It's aliens.
Cheers.
Aliens.